When I was a kid, I learned the speech of Patrick Henry. You see, that was a speech that we learned in school. Patrick Henry, I know not the course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. So what was he saying? If I can't be a free man, I would rather die fighting for that freedom for others. Liberty. There are people who died. Why did all those men line up with Robert the Bruce? Right? Bannockburn. Why did those men line up to fight with Robert the Bruce? To sacrifice their lives. And many of them knew that they would die. Why did they do that? So that Scots might breathe free. That they might not live under the yoke of English tyranny. That's why they did it, you see? And many of them were devout Christians, so they had an idea that they had a divine right from God to do that. And they wore crosses on their armor to remind them of that. So they believed that they weren't only defending their national right to be free men, but also their religious right to be free Christian Scotsmen. So if people in the West have forgotten that, isn't it interesting that all these young men and some women that are coming back in boxes, we're being told they made the ultimate sacrifice. What was the sacrifice? Because Iraq is clearly no longer a threat, if it ever was. I personally don't believe it ever was, but it's certainly not a threat now. So if the threat's over, you can go home. No, but we're there to give them freedom. So not only are we sacrificing our lives for liberty, we're not even sacrificing our lives for our liberty, but for the liberty of others. So that is the way that it's being framed in the United States. The people are dying, not for themselves, but for a whole other people. Because we want to spread liberty around the world. Now, I would love that if it was the liberty of the Constitution, which is justice, domestic tranquility, common defense, general welfare, and the blessings of liberty. Nobody, the man that wrote that, Madison, Jefferson, Washington, Governor Morris, John Adams, none of those people ever thought that liberty meant the right to watch a pornographic movie, the right to see women degraded in public spaces. None of them ever thought that had anything to do with freedom. The right for corporations to move into a country, and because they can produce things at such a cheap rate, all of the local economy is destroyed. That's a type of colonialism. That's just another type of hegemony. So there's very serious problems in this argument. You want my personal opinion, for whatever it's worth, and you can take it or leave it. And I'm really serious about that. I would appreciate if Muslims just had the basic decency to recognize that people who have actually thought about things, people who have studied, people who have actually given the problems of the world some consideration and thought, that we would at least listen civilly to what they had to say and consider them. The right to dissent is a right. And ikhtilaf is one of the great traditions of Islam. But I personally do not believe that Islam sanctions vigilante violence. I don't. I find no proof for it. Islam is a religion of order. It's a religion of government. It's actually a religion that sees generally, even though the early ulama probably did not think this, and I'm talking about the first century, but certainly 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and onwards believed it because of what they saw from the civil wars that occurred in the first century. They actually believed that tyranny was better than anarchy. Imam Malik and Ibn Uyayna said, "60 sana fi dhulman khayru min sa'atin fi fawda." That 60 years in oppression is better than one moment of anarchy.